Alright, welcome to another match of Ether Raids. We are going over two matches today. This first match here is this was a loss. This was a interesting loss to watch back, to think back about, to look back on, because the defense itself is one that is actually very difficult to play into, for me particularly. You had the new Hector here, the one that I mentioned is pretty tanky with the right support. I heard some people saying that he's not that great, but really, with merges, with support, he can, put up decent numbers. So I don't think he's the worst armor, at least in the game. It's kind of interesting that they took away the negate armor effectiveness thing. I felt like that was really Hector's gimmick. But it kind of looked like they removed that ever since he had his other version, the version that was the attuned one. So I don't know. I guess that's no longer going to be Hector's thing or something. But yeah, this Hector is pretty strong. We have Boulder here with support to be able to take him out. The other option was the Hearthfolger team, but I've actually interestingly enough removed Hearthfolger from that team. Still a lot of moving pieces, still a lot of changes, that I'm trying to figure out, move some things around and trying to figure out what fits where. But for now, I figured this was the best option with everything that I had. Really, it's because of the threat range of this team, because of Elise and what's her face? Lynn with the 3 range. Ton of coverage here that they have, so it was kind of difficult for me to initiate on turn 1, because not just that, the ice, the bulwark, the units that you needed to kill, the low key of it all, making everything a little bit more difficult, having to play on the right hand side of the map essentially to ensure that I got all of my bonuses, or at least the important ones, for the units that needed them, which is Boulder, and kind of also Lynn, in a sense. She kind of wants that 2-range style to be able to function effectively. But yeah, it was pretty challenging trying to figure out how to play into this defense. Ultimately, this was a loss that I picked up, which you'll see because of how well the defense is constructed. It's one of your old school rally trap with a healer, harkening back to the legendary, well, just the Nana days in general. Back when did legendary Nana get her refine? And I think she did. Interesting. Legendary Nana was actually really good when she first came out. So I think am I mistaken? She must have gotten her refine and remix already. And it's insane that that kind of came and went pretty fast. Yeah. Anyways, this is a healer trap, going back to the Nana days, where you have like a restore or a refresh return type trap with your healer, where they cleanse the penalties and then come down and increase the threat range and then come down and then just pretty much destroy you with a dance or something like that. So this is what's really going on here. It's kind of a full circle moment. Back to the origins of Ether Raid's defensive builds. Usually, you play something like that, you'd want to go with like some type of defensive build, like a save or a tank, but that's not really an option when you're playing against Loki and Lorather, which is the combination that I originally started to play with after Lorather came out, Tree Man. Like I said, they're like a match in heaven. They're so good together. Even now with Tiki being a thing, they're still really good together, the two of them. So yeah, it's a lot more difficult to tank something like this, and I was considering building a team with Fjorm, Ice Fjorm, to try to deal with something like this, but man, Fjorm isn't great. Well, it's not even just her, man, it's just tanking in general, tank strategies in general. Because of, like, even going back to the healer trap meta, like, there's only so much threat range that that would cover, in comparison to what we have now, where it's just so much more range that's with that this Elise can cover. It's really difficult to set up like a 3x3 or a 2x3 with support because units do need support these days unless you buff them up with bonus effects and then throw them up there. It's just a really difficult thing to do, to make sure that there is enough space between your Omni tank and the rest of your units, or you have some type of bulwark plus anti-warp. It's a lot of things that you have to consider to actually be able to tank properly in the current meta, and it's just such a hassle, man. It's so much to think about, and I don't know when we're going to go back to when it's going to switch swing all the way back to being able to tank again, but right now just doesn't feel like it's the moment for that, especially because there's so many flyers with pass skills as well as the insane threat range that the Elise and the Harmonic Lin here both have. It just doesn't make sense. You got the Byleth ring on top of it, you got the Micaiah ring, a lot of movement shenanigans. So here you see the first indication that something was up, and the reason that she's able to move there is because my team isn't threatening that spot. She could have just rallied or used her assists from the spot that she's in, but because my team isn't threatening that spot below Hector, not Hector, what's his face? Ike. Because my team isn't threatening that spot, she's able to do that, come down there and then move. Essentially covering the entire bottom of the map except for the corners. Those are the only safe spots, and I should have set it up so that my team was able to go on turn 2, but I wanted to get my extra unit on turn 3. The only other option to have against something like this is to run the safety fence, because as you can see, they don't have Boulder here, a sacrifice for the units that they wanted to play with. Probably you could take out Fjorm, I guess, and just run Boulder instead, since Hector's the one doing all of the saving. But they just probably wanted to use out Fjorm, test out Fjorm, or have some fun with her, which is kind of what I wanted to do as well. I have another defense that I was kind of playing around with to change my Dart defense, because it does get destroyed by Elise. And really the only way to combat that, what Elise is doing, is to have each individual piece of your defense be strong enough to survive against her. But that's just not feasible for me currently. Like, you need a little bit of investment, and you need the right pieces to make something like that work. And here we go. This is where she came down and sniped Boulder, which I was really surprised. I thought Boulder would have lived, but woe is me. Boulder got blown up, and that was GG's. Ouch. So that was pretty much the loss there. Also, I forgot to turn on animations, but I didn't think Boulder, I legitimately didn't think Boulder would have died to Elise there, because I thought, oh, she's a healer, she's not going to hit that hard, but I was completely wrong. And also, just to show off the fact that this Boulder is able to take out Hector with the support here, but we didn't even get to go that far. GG's, well played. Alright, so here we go with the next match here. Also forgot to mention that both of these are rematches. That I lost the first one after spending at least an hour trying to figure out what to do there. Which is the thing that I said frustrates me the most about Ether raids currently, is that the time invested doesn't necessarily give you the satisfying payoff of coming up with a solution to these problems. I still don't really have a clear-cut plan when it comes to dealing with those types of defenses, and this one as well. This one is also very challenging because of, again, the threat range. Like I said in previous videos, it's like you definitely want more units. You definitely want more units on your team that can cover 3 space, threat range, and more. In the sense, or in terms of Elise, you definitely want those units on your team now, because it's very hard to defend against them with the tanking options that we have currently available. Again, back in the meta, back in the day, back when Emblem Lin was a thing, how you defend against that is you'd set your units to the side, and then you'd have your designated tank, this tank they hit from Lin, because it's just Lin that can hit that far, and then you'd continue playing from there based off the movement of the enemy team, or at least that's how I approached it. Byleth is such a weird unit. I really just don't understand him, if I'm being completely... Sometimes he wins the speed check, sometimes he loses the speed check, sometimes he has support, sometimes, well, if he doesn't have support, he's absolutely useless. But he just kills things randomly, and he puts you in a weird position where it's kind of difficult to tank against him because you don't know if your tank is going to survive. Eventually we'll get to a point where, regardless of who he's attacking, he'll just fail because the power creep has gotten to the point where it doesn't matter how fast he is anymore, or he just won't be fast enough anymore. And we're creeping towards there. Of course, it's March the 1st. Wow, February flew by, 28 days. Yeah, so it's March the 1st, so there's going to be a banner soon, of course. So we'll see when we get there. Past couple banners have been kind of floppy, except for the... I mean, I haven't pulled on the legendary banner. I haven't pulled... There's still plenty of time left. Got like 40-something orbs to try to figure out what I want to do there, but yeah, it's difficult to try to isolate the units that have the insane threat range and tank them specifically because the tanks just aren't strong enough to do so. I guess I could give Hector a try, maybe, because I do I have Hector? Oh no, I said I was going to go back on the banner and try to summon for him and figure out. Yeah, I think maybe Hector might be an option there because he's actually pretty strong.
Name a target.
I might give that a try, actually. But again, it is light in Dark Season, and it's still a lot to think about when it comes to trying to tank effectively. But I feel like that might be where I lean towards. I'm going to go back on that banner, I think, and see if I can pick up a Hector. Fjorm is just not going to be it, because it essentially comes down to a speed check between her and Byleth, and it's kind of 50-50 without Peer Up if she's going to win that speed check. So you probably don't want to be doing that. And then... against Elise, it's kind of the same thing with her. Speed check, kind of don't want to be doing that. And the thing about Hector is he's so weird. He doesn't really care about getting outsped, and he's also decently fast himself for an armored unit with patience, and the fact that he can hit that desperation, built-in Hardy Baron, built-in Null Sea Disrupt. He kind of has everything that you would need to kind of tank properly in the current meta. It's just... you know, do you trust him in Light and Dark Season? Here, I made a big error because I forgot that I think Byleth can reach here. He was getting charge from someone there. I forget who was giving out the charge. I did not anticipate that. That was something that like I said, you want your units to be covering 3 spaces. Oh, it was Edelgard. But luckily, he didn't have any support, so he didn't have most of his stuff activated, and we were just able to tank the hit, thankfully enough. Here, I'm kind of surprised that there wasn't a follow-up attack because of shared spoils that Gatekeeper is doing, but thinking back at it now, because no one died, it didn't give the full benefits of the shared spoil. You have to kill the thing that you're attacking to get the extra action. You don't just get it. So that's why we're able to survive there, given my huge blunder, because I did not realize that Byleth would have gotten the charge effect from Edelgard to then be able to get down that far. Because I looked at it, I was like, oh, he doesn't have +1 movement, but no, he has charge. So like I said, there's just so many things to consider, man, and you don't really, have the time to really set up the way that you'd want to be able to take out a team like this. Without, let's say, this safety fence or some way to shut down that unit right there, which is why I've been thinking about like 2 out of the 5 teams that I've built have what's her face coming in on turn 3, Ather. But maybe I should put her in from the start, you know? If I was going to do that, I'd probably remove this Veil, who's absolute garbage. I'd probably remove this Veil for Ather. Just so that I can have the ability to shut down a unit and still run my healing tower, which is just something I'm so attached to, even though I don't need it, because the Micaiah ring gives you 20 for, swap or reposition, positional assist, whatever you want to do there, which is a ton. You can heal back to full health in 2 turns, 2 swaps. You generally really don't need the healing tower. They boosted it now to level 15. Wait, I don't know how much that's going to be. Healing 60 maybe. You really don't need it. The only downside is that if you have units with HP conditions, then they won't be activated on that turn. So that's a negative. But yeah, if I was going to swap it out, I think now might be the time to swap out the healing tower for the safety fence. I'm kind of feeling like I need it just to be able to set my team up right to be able to go in, because I don't have a ton of strategy to play against these teams. This is the team that had Hearthbuilder on it, and I swapped her out for this Harmonic Lyn because, like I said, 3 space coverage, you kind of want that now. You want to hit back row without, you know, going into all the trap territory, the Divine Rain Stones, all of that stuff there. You kind of want to attack from further behind. I just had to find a way to fit her in. Didn't figure out what to do with Summer Celica. She's still kind of bad, especially with damage output. And I've just been playing around with this Lyn, Harmonic Lyn, to see how I can boost her damage, what support options, you know, make her better. I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah, just trying to build teams around her so that she can function properly. I have noticed as well that the harmonic button that she has, or the dual button, whatever, it allows her to act again, even if you get hit with something like Foresight Snare. So you could use her to initiate and then still get the your action back, even though she doesn't attack, which is a clause that isn't normally in the dual button or the action back dual effect. Normally the unit has to attack and successfully complete that attack and survive, of course, to be able to use their dual button to get their action back. But these new CYL harmonics don't have that clause, and I think that's very interesting. They just get their action back, which is insane. They don't have to actually do anything, and that's a big deal in the meta where the dual hindrance, as you can see on this map, is getting less prominent. The only dual unit that was here was Freya, which is why I was trying to get rid of her early on, and we were able to do that with Boulder. And then from there, I could just pop my dual buttons and get going. Lyn actually has her dual effect will actually impact Plumeria here, because what's her name? Olivia and Lucina are from shared games, so you can dual dance your dancer if, you know, I'm not careful with the current setup here. The next unit here that is the biggest problem is Byleth himself, because he's of course a dancer, and then having Elise come down, do the thing, and then him dancing her, they would just snowball and they would be in my face right away. So I had to, you know, figure out how to take him out and get back successfully, or whether or not it was worth it. And of course it was. I think I would have lost the unit had I not done that. So I had to just plan my actions out properly to be able to get in and get out, and also take him out, because as you can see, I was missing the kill there. But I popped some dual buttons and it worked. We got the extra damage output that we needed. Moved Plumeria around, got the exposure damage, and yeah, we're able to finally get him off the map. But this was a lucky win for this particular rematch. It was played really badly, but came out with the win nonetheless. I don't know what to do with these teams against these defenses. It's the trap. I feel like I am working up a idea with getting Linen and having flyers. I feel like you still need well, of course, flyers are dominant right now, so it makes sense just to run them. But I feel like Lyn is a, you know, important part of getting that to work. And I feel like I kind of wanted Disarm Trap as well, but wasn't sure how to fit that in. Yeah, and then this Elise, man, like so much coverage. Look at that threat range. That's insane. And that, like I was saying, if she had did the thing to Byleth, should have been able to come down and cover all of the bottom of the map here and snipe someone again, which would have been another loss. So yeah, defense is tough, man. Defense is pretty tough right now. If the opponent has the pieces, particularly if they have Elise. I feel like Elise is the unit that you want on defense currently. Now that she's in season, she's probably just as good as Black Knight as an offensive, or in a different way, because Black Knight is more defensive and she's offensive. So it's good to have Elise there. But thankfully she's going to be out of season soon, so maybe people will stop using her because of the score hit. But you know, sometimes they just want to win, so she'll probably end up still being there. And then I also have trouble dealing with the Valley defenses, because those are just really annoying as well, because of the pass and the flying and the same layout, the traps. It's just a lot, man. It's just a lot, and I don't feel like my teams are doing what I want them to do. But I don't know. I'm going to take some time and figure it out. Hopefully we get a unit on the next banner that helps out a ton. And we'll see where we go from there. GG's. See you in the next one.